Hello, for this tutorial I'm going to show you how to solve the Square-2. So to solve the Square-2, you obviously need to know how to solve a Square-1. So if you don't know how to solve a Square-1, then this is going to be a lot more difficult. So yeah, I'm going to scramble this and then we'll start learning. Okay, so now it's scrambled, and the first step that we want to do is we want to solve the corners. Then it'll be just like a Square-1 and we could solve it from there. So knowing the color scheme of your Square-1 is important because you can actually switch around the color scheme. Because if the corners can be cut in half, like I could say this is a piece, and then, you know, if I flip the bottom, this middle layer, then the color scheme will be flipped around. It doesn't really matter, but if you want to keep your regular color scheme, then you want to know it. So my Square-1 has the same color scheme, so I can use that. So it's just a regular color scheme of red, white, and blue, and then the opposite colors. So I see this corner already done, but it is done backwards. So first thing I need to do is I need to realize that this red needs to go with a green-white piece. So that is right here, I think. Yeah. So what we can do is we can put this red back here, so that when, and this green down here, so that when we slice it up, this green would come up and match with the red. So that's our first corner done. And I usually just put it right off to the side, and then the next corner I get, I could put right next to it. So then I'll have like a big block of corners by the time I'm done. Okay, next is this white, orange, and then this green, white back here. So this one's pretty easy. When you don't have that many corners done, all you really have to do is get them somewhat close to each other like this, and then bring this corner piece down, and then bring this all the way next to it, so right here, and then when you bring them up, they'll be paired. And then you could turn it over here and bring this back up. And you'll know that the color scheme is right if these two colors match up, and then you keep doing whites and the chain will follow, so the red and blue will be here. And this is going to go with the orange, so that is somewhere. Oh yeah, it's this piece. I keep forgetting. So you put it back here, kind of the opposite of what we did. So you bring it down to meet this corner, you bring it up and match it. And as you can see, the chain is still following. So now we have this side fully, all corners. So now we can just, these last two, bring this onto the top layer, move this over, and then fix it like that, and bring it up, and there. So now we have all the white corners, and this chain of colors is correct. So now we're going to start with yellow corners. Now I usually just look for ones on the top layer and, you know, kind of use those. So I know this is going to be with the blue, so that's this other blue piece. So I'm going to put that back there, and then right here. So bring it up to match this, and I actually turn it over here, bring this like this and that. So I kind of flipped this chain around, and I can bring this corner in. Okay, so now we have 5 corners. So now this one goes with the orange, and that's this one. So we're lucky it's like this, and if the corner was here, we would be cutting this corner in half. So you also need to watch out for that. Don't mess up corners that you've already done. Okay, and then we can bring this corner in like that. So now the entire top layer has corners, all solved. So now we can put that on the bottom layer by just flipping top and bottom layer. And now we have these last two. So if they're an even number apart, like there's two pieces in between, we can just, hide this, bring it over, and since it won't cut any corners in half, we can bring it back up. But if they're an odd number apart, like this, it can be backwards or forwards, then you kind of have to mess around with it. So probably hide this and bring it as far as you can over here. So now they're closer. And then hide this, move it 1, so now they're an even number apart, and then you can easily fix it. Make sure there's a full set of corners on the bottom, right there, and then you can fix it like that. So then you have all of your corners, and it's just like a square one. So now you can basically just fix all of this. It's kind of hard to get used to solving it like this because there will be like all these weird shapes and patterns that you don't normally see. So actually, it's shocking. Okay, and then you now I've finished one layer. I'm very slow. And there we have it. So it's basically just pairing up corners. It isn't really hard at all. It just takes some getting used to, and yeah, it's kind of like solving a 4x4 or 5x5. You have to pair like the last two edges sometimes. The first few are easy. So yeah, it's kind of like getting used to that. So after a while, it just comes naturally, and you can solve it like that. So yeah, I hope this helped at all, and yeah, so bye.